nasty people, and welcome back to a new episode of the Nasty Talks. Today we are having a new guest. His name is Mathias, and if you know, in the previous episodes we were talking with Diana about open relationships. Well, Mathias is her boyfriend, and today we are gonna hear his side of the story when it comes to open relationships. So, without further ado, let's dive into it and see what he has to say about their open relationship. Yeah, welcome to the Nasty Talks.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. It's my pleasure. So, I would like to know some small things about you. Who are you?
So, my name is Mathias, and I am a Norwegian. I live here in Denmark, and I've been working here for 3 years now, but we moved here last May.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I've been together with Diana now, closing in on 3 years.
Quite a long relationship already. And you are in an open relationship with her, right?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how is that going?
So, the open relationship had so many sides with it. It is, you're opening so many doors with the open relationship. And I think it is having so many upsides, at least for us. I think it is definitely not for everyone. But I think a lot more people could benefit from not necessarily a fully open relationship, but gaining some aspects out of it. And per now, our open relationship is going very, very good.
I'm happy to hear that. And can you tell me a little bit about your relationship background or sex background that you've had before being with her?
Absolutely. So I am more of the I would say, normal guys on the street. I was mainly into vanilla and just this normal, little bit normal dating background.
Basic sex, basically.
Basic sex, yeah. I've had a few encounters before that have been a little bit more experimental, and that was kind of igniting something in me. That was very fun. But I've only had this very short relationship of 5 months earlier. So before then, I haven't really had this proper relationship, if you can say it like that.
Yeah.
So, no, I didn't start off early sexually, but I figured out early that I really enjoyed it, and it was a huge part of my life before as well, but in a much more conventional way.
But when did you start your sex life?
So I started, no, absolutely. Yeah. I started off when I was 18 years old. Mm-hmm. It was not because I just turned 18 and then it was okay or something like that, but that was when it happened. And the way it happened was, I have to tell you this.
Okay, tell me.
So it started off after a Halloween party, actually. So it was a very, very special way to start off the first time. And it was with someone a bit older than me, and we were drunk.
How much older was you?
I have to say that by the time I was 18 years old, and she was almost twice my age.
Oh.
Yes. And
did she have kids or anything?
No, she did not. Also a student, actually. Okay. So because I just started my studies.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Yes.
Really nice.
It was
kicked it good from the beginning, I must say.
Yeah. No, it was a nice way to start off, or it was an interesting way to start off. Let's say it like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how was it for you that she was probably more experienced?
For me, that was kind of calming in some ways. Absolutely had its advantages, and I didn't feel that the age difference was an issue at all.
Okay. That's really nice. And did you continue seeing her afterwards, or it was just a one-time thing?
No, it was not a one-time thing. We saw each other a few times, and that was kind of where I built my first sexual experiences. But it didn't continue for that long.
No. Okay. That's really interesting, actually, that you started your sex life with somebody older. And
it was a safe way to get into it,
True.
At least. Yeah.
Good choice. Yeah, and how have you decided, and why have you decided to start an open relationship?
So, That's a really good question. From my point of view, it was because I love Diana so much. And I got afraid of... we were at this moment where we had been together for some time, and we had been living on top of each other for so long, and we were renovating our house in Norway.
Yeah.
So we had so much time on top of each other. And she went to her home country for 2 months, and then we were talking every single day. We have always been good at communicating. And then I started to feel that it was a guy that she was going out with. I've never had any issues with her having other friends. Like I can have the sense of being jealous, but I'm a very little jealous guy. And then I started to feel on her that it was something starting to tingle. And I just, okay, let's talk about this, because I don't want to go to bed with having unresolved thoughts in my mind. So we started talking about this friend of hers. I think I understood it almost before her, that she kind of had a little bit of a tingling sensation in her tummy. So we started talking about it, and it came up that she started to get a little bit of emotions, like she didn't really know what it was.
It was maybe that feeling of attraction. She was attracted to somebody, and maybe it wasn't just physical.
No, I think that, and also because our relationship, me and Diana have really wonderful sex, but it goes up and down in valleys, like it. I think most things do. And at that point, we were working so hard that time before she went to her home country. I think at that time she was also in this mood where she was ready and open for sexual tensions, and it was clearly something there. In Essential, I just opened up to let her explore a little bit. I said that, okay, if something is going to happen, I will not be mad at you. I want you to just take it as it comes, and we will talk about it later afterwards. I don't want you to not tell me something, do something and not tell me. That would be the worst. So please don't cheat on me. Kinda, if you know what I mean.
Of course, I understand you. And I think that's such, like, you were so courageous to do that, to just have that conversation with her and just put it out there. Also because it made probably your relationship a lot more stronger, talking about everything and being honest about what is going on in each other's lives and how you feel.
Absolutely. But I have to be honest, that was such a scary time. We were several thousand kilometers away from each other, and we only had WhatsApp, and the connection was a little bit on and off. So I just remember that evening when we talked, and they were going to meet again after we had this talk. I could not sleep, and I was having these thoughts in my head. So what is happening now? And like, how am I feeling? What is happening? And I had so many thoughts in my head.
You were boiling up.
yeah, boiling up, but also, I was just really curious.
Yeah, I understand you. I would be too. I mean, knowing that the person that I love, is being with somebody else or might try something with somebody else, and I don't know if she will maybe want me afterwards or...
For me, I've never, in the early stages of our open relationship, I was never afraid if she wanted me or not afterwards. That came a little bit later. But in the start, I was never afraid about that. I was just afraid of how will I feel about this and how is this going to affect our relationship. So eventually things happened, and we were still staying away from each other for quite a few weeks more. For all of you listeners that are considering going into an open relationship, be a little bit closer to your partner if you're going to do this. Don't start don't do it with too much distance and too much time apart, because it was hard in the start, but it have given me so much. I don't regret it a second.
No, I understand, but it can definitely be very anxious knowing that you're not going to see that person for quite a long time.
True.
And not knowing what is really going to happen. Yeah, but that's really good advice actually for a lot of people. But how was it for you when you started, hanging out with another person than Diana?
Yeah, so in the start, Diana started seeing a few more when she was in her home country, And then we talked a lot about it, and she encouraged me to also meet other people. So now I had been out of the dating scene for some time, and I was now going to start on this again. It was so much feelings and like, how is this going to be? And to be honest, it was really, really exciting for me to go into this mood again and see what is out there, and how is it to meet people when I know that I have someone that I love.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing the struggles of being, especially a man in an open relationship, because I like to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm an honest guy. And I wanted to say, okay, on the dating profiles that I opened up, like, I'm in an open relationship and I'm up for just walks or whatever happens. So the thing is that I got matches, and then I saw that when they probably read my bio, they unmatched me straight after.
Yeah. I can understand that, because I was also hanging out with somebody, we were friends, and then he told me that he's in an open relationship. So my level of interest just dropped. I was like, okay, no, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really understand it. And this is something, for me, it was really hard to drop the talk that I am in an open relationship, because I just want to be honest. For me, that is so important. I don't want to live this lie, if you can say it like that, even if it's not harming, because many people are just doing this one night stand. Everyone says that they want a relationship and they want a future together, but so many people just meet up to have a nice, good time, and not any more than that. But yeah.
And some people maybe are looking for relationships or something like that.
Absolutely.
But it's hard to find a relationship, and it's hard to find a person that, you know, you can have next to you and really like have the same values and share a lot of things together. Yeah. It's hard. So then when you meet up a person and there's like a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of desire, and then you're just like, okay, I'll go for it, but that doesn't mean that I'll be with this person in a relationship.
Exactly.
So so that happens. But I think a lot of women, we have this fairy tale idea of life that, you know, we're going to meet a guy and he is the guy for us. And then when we see that he is in an open relationship, then we are like, okay, this is not the guy for me. This is the guy for her. Like, why would I, you know, be with him when he is hers? So I think that's...
But I also think it comes from the guy's side. I think guys are really, I have to be honest, horrible in the dating scene of the modern age. Like, they are promising... gold and roses on the bed.
Yeah.
And then you come there and you get that the first or 2 or 3 times, and then they turn off the tap. And that is something I'm really against. But anyway, that's onto something else.
Well, it's nice to know that there's guys like you that don't think like that.
Thank you. No, but anyway, started to meet up with other people was really exciting. Eventually, I had take away that I'm in an open relationship on my profile to see if I would be able to meet someone at all. And I had one experience with a Danish girl that was really into the chatting, and she was really into meeting me. And this was still in the point where I was considering to tell if I was in an open relationship or not. And we met and we had this amazing first date. And then I opened up, which I should not have done, because then lovely feelings turned into the exact opposite. So don't do that. You have to choose either to be completely open and honest from the start, or to take it in a different way. Don't come with it in
later.
The middle.
Yeah, because some people have certain perspectives, maybe certain ideas, and then when they know that you are not planning on, like, you're not available, basically you are, but just in a sexual way, more or less. Exactly. Then that kind of is a turn off. It can be for some women.
Absolutely.
And actually, to be honest, I think it's actually a turn on for men. If you are in an open relationship on a dating scene as a girl, I think it attracts a lot of men, because they think, oh, well, she is not available emotionally. That's perfect. Then I can just, you know, enjoy my time, and we can just have sex and all that, and then that's it.
That's for sure.
No other responsibility afterwards.
Yeah, you should see the differences between my profiles and Diana's profiles, like in regards of the amount of likes and how active people are. So
it can be a big difference, that's for sure.
Yeah. So that is one of the struggles that I have. It is actually to meet people as the male part of an open relationship. Luckily, I'm patient, and for me, it is fine to live my life a little bit through Diana's experiences and what she's able to. She talked a little bit in the previous episodes about our experiences with other people.
Yeah.
She usually hooked us up there, so that is something I really, really enjoyed.
And also because she was saying on the other episode that you actually enjoy to see her being with other men sometimes and knowing that the other men desire her.
Yes, I really I'm into something that is called comparison. And that is, I get actually turned on by seeing the people that I love feel good in one way or the other. Not necessarily turned on, but I feel really good when I see the people that I like are having a good time. When Diana is with other people and she either writes to me that she's having a very good time, or we have even shared pictures and videos, for me that is really a thing where it calms me down.
Yeah.
Because I know that she's good, then I will feel good as well.
And how is it with the jealousy? Do you sometimes maybe feel jealous when she's going on dates or meeting other guys?
Yeah, so it's a bit different because I get the feeling of what kind of date she will meet and what kind of mood she's in. So most of the times she's in this mood, going to have a nice dinner or something, but she's in the mood for having fun in the evening, and then that's it. For me, that is not an issue if she's just hooking up, having sex, and maybe staying the night and then calling me in the morning. But I have felt quite a bit jealous, but we have also been I have to say that we have been quite active on the open relationship side. So Diana met quite a few other people, and I've met a few ones. I have felt jealousy quite a few times, and sometimes more than others. And that is especially when she meets people regularly and when I see that they are able to do something that I'm not. So,
is that more in like a sexual way, or is it just like activities that they are doing together?
I think it is a bit of a combination, mainly the sexual way because I've told Diana that she have to let me know if they are doing something better, because then we can improve as well.
Yeah.
But I know with myself that I'm not the best in everything there. That's just how it is. It would be naive to think something else. And so it hurts a little bit when she's been with someone and she had better sex than she had with me, for example. That happens. Not often, but it happens. And then I feel really good for her. But I also feel it a little bit in my tummy. I have to be honest about that.
Yeah, I can understand it, because I can assume that you're giving your best in the relationship and you want to be the best for her. But in some situations, it's impossible to tick all the boxes as it is, and to really, be the perfect man.
Yeah. So that's just how it is. But I learn a lot from it as well, because she tells me what they are doing good if she's able to explain it. And that is things that I'm not trying to replicate, but to actually implement over time. So if someone is doing her a really good position that works very good for her, I'm not trying to be that guy in bed. No. I'm just trying to use those tips at a later time, and that have helped out a few times. But jealousy can also appear when it is of things outside the sexual side, because some guys are just a good match for her if it is in the way of how he looks, or how he has what kind of apartment, and people have different likes and dislikes.
Yeah, or maybe their interest, maybe it's something that she is also passionate about.
Exactly. Yeah. And that doesn't hurt me then and there, but when she meets the person regularly, that can be a source of jealousy.
Yeah, because that tells you it's danger. She's been meeting him for more than one time. Then what if she is gonna like him more than me at some point? Or it's always maybe this kind of fear of what is gonna happen if she finds this guy better than me. Yeah.
And that have happened actually with two people that she's met, that I've had these feelings a little bit, but I've been very open about that with her. I trust her completely. and she is very open with me. And she's also been saying that if she got other emotions than just sexually attracted, and that is something that is very fine by me, as long as we are open about it and we are talking a lot about it.
I think that is the scary part, the emotions, because the physical connection that you get with the person, that, is just there in the moment. But the emotional connection that you get, that is there for a long time, and it's there to stay. And it's that is the real competition, I think.
True. So when you're in an open relationship, some people will be there for a short amount of time, and it will be this hot flame that spices up the week, and then it will be gone the next week.
Yeah.
And then you have some people, of course it depends on what your ground rules are in your open relationship, but sometimes you will find this person that you'll meet over and over and over again, and that is a different way of being in an open relationship if you allow that to happen.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that?
Most of the time I feel really good about it, because it is people that don't only support her sexually, if you can support someone sexually, but they also support her with talking, and we are living 3 hours apart with car, so we have a bit of a distance between our living situations. So it's nice to know that she have other people to spend quality time with. And it is exciting when it can be a combination between sexual attraction and friendship. That is something I really like, that I've also dreamt a lot about that, to have that myself in the area where I work. But per now, I haven't been able to find that person that wants to be a sort of a friend with benefits, kind of. And that's so I'm really happy for her when she gets that. And I'm also always excited to hear how it's been when she's been with that person.
Well, maybe it will happen soon. I hope that for you.
Let's cross our fingers for that.
Yeah. But how do you feel when you, for example, had a date and maybe have had sex with another woman, and then you want to share that with Diana? Does it come hard for you to do it? Do you think that she might be hurt because of it or anything like that?
So in the start, because I met 2 people quite early in our open relationship, I've met very few people. And the first time I was very careful with how I said things. Because I know that Diana can be very jealous and she can be hurt. Then I was being very careful with how I said things. It wasn't hard for me to tell her the details, and she also, at least she told me that she wanted to hear all the details, and she was also asking me questions. So for me that wasn't hard to let her know how it was. The times after that I was very clear with, like, I wasn't packing it in any sort of way. I think the truth is best served as it was.
Yeah.
Even if it hurts a little bit here and right there, I think that is the best, because otherwise you never feel that, is this person completely honest with me or not?
Yeah, exactly. Because we can feel when somebody's hiding something from us, and that's never nice, especially because it's a very sensitive topic. So then when you know that somebody is, telling you the truth, but not the complete truth, or not, in that way, then it can be definitely hurting more than if they would hear the actual truth.
True.
Yeah. Okay, so you haven't really been in contact with the women that you've dated, so, or like not like long term.
So the first person that I met, we met a few times. That was over a period of a few weeks, or maybe a month and a half. So that was kind of like the longest time I met a single person. But the problem there was that she ended up getting feelings for me.
Yeah.
And that was just not okay. She got overly attached, and for me it wasn't hard at all. I really understood that, okay, even if the sex was great, and it was really hard for me to find someone to be with. It was not a question, even for a second, if it was just to cut that connection, but to do it in a proper way, and then just let her know that, okay, this is the case. This will not gonna work because of this and that. For her, I think that was really hard, but for me, that was not an issue.
Because from what I understand, you being in an open relationship, I think you and Diana want to be in an open relationship and still have this base of relationship that you two have. So you don't want to be polygamous in the sense that you are having multiple girlfriends.
We are not polyamorous at all, not at all.
No.
With an open relationship, you talk a lot.
Yeah.
You talk a lot about many subjects. So this came up when she started seeing someone regularly here in Denmark. And we had the talk because then it was definitely for a short amount of time some other feelings for Diana as well. But we figured out that that is not something for us here and now, at least. So we definitely want to keep our core and then have fun on the side.
Yeah, it's a nice approach to it, and I think it's a bit more healthy than, being with multiple people, because I think from that point of view it's very hard to entertain so many people and care for, multiple women, if it's in that sense, right? It could be, I assume.
Yeah, I also, of course, I have not tried it, so for me it is a little bit of the mind. I just have thoughts about it. I think the hardest part would be the trust and who to give priorities, because priorities is something that comes up even in an open relationship.
Yeah.
And that is something that if you feel that you're not prioritized, that is some of the more painful things you can feel in an open relationship. So it is really important to always keep your priorities straight, because if you do that and you show the main person you love so much, and that is the most important person in your life. The other people are also really important to you, but in different ways, just to show that you always come back to the person that you love. You always have the feelings for that person, and then you can use other people to fulfill other desires and spice things up.
Yeah, maybe other needs that this person that you love cannot really fulfill.
Yeah, one thing is not really fulfill, but also sometimes you just want more sex. You just want more of this spice, or trying a little bit different version of the spice, or just trying something new. I think the trying something new is something that adds a lot to the, especially the feeling of sex. If you are with someone new, it is always really exciting the 3-4 first times. And that adds a lot of excitement. You don't know how this person is in bed or wherever you want to do it. And I think that is a good way to spice things up.
Yeah, for the relationship also, because then you go back to your partner and you're like, hey, I've learned this, or I've done this, or all that, and you evolve together through that.
Or they are just showing you. That is the best way.
Yeah, also that. It can also be that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the future with Diana? Because I know you love her very much. And I have also talked with her in the previous episodes about future perspectives on your relationship, maybe marriage, maybe kids. And how does that come in play?
So one thing is for sure. I love Diana over everything else, and I know that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with her in one way or the another. I don't know exactly how our future will be. It is some of these large things with marriage and kids that are getting more and more clear day by day. Marriage is something that I'm really sure that we will get married. And when it comes to kids have been this subject for me and Diana that have been on and off for a long time. I was for a very long time sure that I didn't want kids. It's several reasons, because I think that it is possible to help the world in many ways. Not always having a kid is the best way, but I was also thinking about adopting, and the main thing for me is that we don't lose ourselves in doing these things. So me and Diana is going to have our own lives, and that we are going to live them even if we are getting kids. I see it with so many people that when they get kids, that they put all of their energy and soul into the kids, and they die a little bit themselves. And I don't want that, because I think it is a possibility to balance between your own life and the kids to make everyone happy.
Yeah. Most of the times it is possible, but I think for a lot of people, because they want to be good parents, they want their kids. And when you get your kid, I assume, because I don't have kids, but I assume that you love them so much that you want to give them everything you have. And by that means that you're also losing yourself a little bit. You're also spending you're spending way too much time in caring for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But as we've seen now, with the soon to be 3 years that we have been together now, if we are not taking care of ourselves with our body, our food, and our mindset, then you're not really able to perform properly. So we want to be good at those three things. Yeah. We want to take care of our bodies so that we not only function properly, but we also look good. It's just nice to feel that you are fit and that you are taking care of yourself.
Yeah, it's more about the feeling. You feel more confident when you are, looking good, or when you are feeling good.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that is really important. But also that gives you more energy to do more in everyday life. I think it is so many factors in the everyday life that are taking away your time. You have the Netflix and you have the social media and all of these things that steals so many hours of your life that you could use to live instead. I'm not the best myself, I have to be honest. I have watched series, and sadly I started with Instagram now, and it just sucks time out of you. So
it does.
Yeah, it really does. And I don't feel that it gives me much back.
No, it's just a waste of time. It just goes in there. Like, maybe you get some new ideas about something that you see there, but it's that time you could easily spend it on something more productive.
Exactly. And you would get the same ideas or even better ideas if you would just take a walk into town and see it by yourself.
So you will probably want kids at some point. You are still thinking about it. But how do you think that will be by being in an open relationship? Do you think it would be hard?
In regards of being in an open relationship, I don't think it would give you any issues. Of course, it will restrain you in some ways. But I think the term open relationship is a very wide term. Yeah. You have everything from being a swinger to being more on the liberal side that me and Diana is on, where we are able to meet almost anyone anytime or together. But I really think that if you get kids or you are having to take care of your parents or something that just takes a lot of your time, I still think you are able to get the excitement. Maybe not, you are probably not being able to spend so much time with other people that you make these deep friendships. I think that can be a little bit harder because that just needs a lot of time.
Yeah.
But
it's understandable in between. Like, if you have kids, if you have to take care of your parents, you also work, you also have your partner, and then you also have to have time for your hobbies, and then on top of that, another person. Yeah.
But I think if you remove the thieves that take time from you and you're able to have your priorities straight, which is so important in general in life, I really, really believe that you're able to keep an open relationship flowing, because it doesn't have to take a lot of time, the physical part. For some people, for example me, a big part of it is also the communication before and after with other people.
Yeah.
So for me, that is a big thing. For Diana, not so much. But I'm not worried for that, if we can say it like that.
No.
With the kids.
Okay, that is really nice. And a final question. If you, like, knowing what you know now, everything that you know about open relationships and what you've experienced, how would you tell somebody that is maybe thinking of getting in an open relationship to, like, an advice, something that you think it would be very relevant for them to know?
Good question. I think if you are completely new to this and you haven't met other people together, or you're really curious about this, I think there are maybe 2 ways to go for it. Don't start off by your own, but start off by meeting someone else in a threesome or a foursome. I think that is a very good way to test how you work together as a couple. Don't expect it to be absolutely perfect the first time. You have to give this try a few times. Or if you dare, try to go to a swingers club. I have still not been there myself, but I really believe that is a good way to test, to feel, you don't have to do anything with someone else, but you get a little bit, you can test your limits a little bit absolutely.
Yeah, based on what you see and what you experience there, even though you don't experience it directly, you experience it in an indirect way.
Yeah, because you have the possibilities that you don't have in your own bedroom unless you have invited someone over. You have people that are open, you have people that are maybe more experienced in this. And it is really nice to be with people that have done this before, because they know what kind of emotions that may pop up. They know kind of like, how do you do this? It is so many ways to do it, but it's always nice to have a little bit of a guide, especially if you haven't read up on it.
Yeah, and maybe also it helps if you're in a relationship and want to try an open relationship and want to go to a swingers club. I think it's better than doing it in your bedroom, because then you separate the relationship from, the fun and the new experiences that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. It was really nice having you on the podcast and seeing your perspective on the open relationship.
Likewise, I really appreciate to be able to share this. Absolutely.
Yeah, that is really nice. Thank you very much for being here. And maybe I'll see you next time together with Diana.
That would be really fun.
Amazing. Well, take care. And until next time, bye-bye. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe to our channel to not miss any of our future episodes. And until next time, take care and stay nasty.